as I was still pushing, 2017. Yeah, 2017. Yeah, 2017 when I got my first car. Yeah, first car, Toyota Runex 2017. When I got my first car, that was on the 13th of July 2017, if I remember properly. Yeah, when I got my first car. After 2 months, I went home with it. And that was in Limpopo because I was staying full time in Soshanguve at that time. So I went home with my first car. So uh, I parked the car at my parents' house, right? And I slept. And then when I woke up, I sorry, I found two tires were flat, like literally two tires were flat. So I called my friend, then he came and then he assisted me with the tire problems, and then that was fine. So in my head, uh, I actually thought, Hore, it's just an average puncher. Now the second day when I slept, like when I woke up, there was footsteps behind. Actually, there were like footsteps walking towards the car, you know, and those footsteps, they were not ordinary. They were not normal. No, they were not. They were not normal. It was not human footsteps, number one. And there's no way I can, it can't be me. For as long as I remember, it can't be me. So when I checked, it's not chickens. It's not a chicken. I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's a donkey footstep or a cow. There was just weird things happening around. Then after that, I kept on pushing. I prayed, I kept on pushing no matter what. And when I went home again in December, that time I actually bought three cars. That was C180, Audi A4, Audi A6. Now after that, that's when stories started, back home that, no, this boy has a snake. They were referring to me. This boy has a snake. There's no way you can achieve these things and all that. So now it all makes sense as to why these people are saying these things about me, especially back home. Social media, people can say whatever they want to say. I'm talking about people who know me in real life, people who know my struggle, people who know me physically. If you just clicked follow, you don't know me. You're just a follower. I'm talking about people who know me. They started saying that back home. That's why it all started. So now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, why are these people saying it? Now, when I think about it deep, it makes sense. It makes sense because now these guys, they've been trying to bewitch me ever since. Coming to think of it, they've been trying to bewitch me ever since, and they are failing every fucking time. So when they're failing like that, they actually assume that I'm probably using a muti greater than theirs because theirs is failing on me. So they assume, well, no, this boy has something powerful than what we have, because now we can't stop him. Because now, remember, a witch doesn't only bewitch you for the fun of it. They bewitch you to stop you from achieving your dreams. They bewitch you from stopping you. Their goal is to stop you from achieving anything that you want to achieve, right? So I kept on winning no matter what. The tantrums, everything they've thrown towards me, I've been escaping. Escaping. So now the only thing that makes sense to them is that, nah, man, this boy has something that's stronger. And they are right. I do have something that's stronger, and that is God. But according to them, it's impossible. God can't be this powerful because as people, we believe in different things, right? Others pray pictures. Others pray ancestors strictly. Others believe God doesn't exist. Others are praying Bushiri. You know, as people, we pray different things. And you just stick to what works for you no matter what. So this guy's believed Torah Naman. This boy is onto something that's stronger, you know? And I thought that was the end of it. That was 2017 December. Now moving to 2018. 2018, I actually 2018 was the first time I actually buy a Vurpa. Vurpa, I'm talking about a 4-pipe, you know. The first 4-pipe, actually, because there were two of them, Kidi Audi S3s. Now, the ones which were recently repossessed by the bank, you know. So you'll be seeing the stories on newspapers and platforms very, very soon. So they were repossessed by the banks not so long ago. So yeah, but that's a story for another day. We will deal with that one when we get there. So that was like the first Verpa, the first 4-pipe that I had, right? That was 2018. So now I remember it like it was yesterday. So what happened was that we bought the first S3 on Thursday, and then the second S3 on Friday, like 2 consecutive days, right? The first one and the second one. So now it was a norm that every time when I buy a car, I have to go home and show my mom that, mommy, granny, dad, I've made it. I've bought a car, and they give me blessings and all that, right? Sharp. Now, so what happened was that I went home, right? I went home in Limpopo, driving nicely. It didn't have number plate. It had a permit, brand new from the box, right? So when I went home, there was actually a family function at that time. Like there was a family function at that time, and I was going for 2 things: to show them the car as well as to be part of the family function. So I went there. Oh, it was nice, you know. So I went there on Friday, and then Saturday, that was the day of the function. So normally, because I'm the one who's actually a little bit privileged in the family, so during that time I was the one doing the errands, running up and down, you know. So I spend most of my Saturday during the day running up and down, going up and down, going up and down, buying this and that, buying alcohol, doing this and that, right? So all was well. With the S3, it was brand new. The second one, it was there as well. Yeah, it was with me, but now I was driving the other one. Sharp. That was before the G63, the R7, the A45, the M4. That was way before that. That was way before then, right? So that's what happened. Now, the function happened during the day on Saturday. Everything went well, smooth. I was taking in, actually, I would say, driving different family members, relatives up and down, you know, back and forth. So all was well. Remember, I don't drink alcohol. I've never drank alcohol in my life, you know. So I'm always sober. Anything which happens to me, I'm always sober. So like I'm always at a sober state. So there's nothing that I can actually miss. I see everything that's happening. Now, around 8 p.m., I tell my mom, we're still at the function. The function is at the village. I tell my mom that, Mom, remember we didn't turn on the lights back home, so it's dark. So in my kasi, if it's dark at night, there are no lights on, especially around 6, 7, 8. Thugs are able to see that they are not around. Therefore, it's a good chance for us to break in. because they know normally if there are people, lights would be on. So I tell my mom that, no, mommy, I need to turn on the lights. I need to go home and turn on the lights, because if not, thugs will take advantage. And then she's like, okay, sharp. You'll go, but just not now. You'll go maybe around 10. And I'm like, okay, sharp. So we stayed there. It was happening. It was nice, bonding with family, greeting different people that I grew up with. And remember, everybody is happy that I've made it. I've bought a car, even though it was not my first. But yeah, it's something, especially in my family. They see these things with me. Sharp. Everyone was happy. There was no bad vibes. Now around 10, I tell my mom that, mommy, I need to go turn on the lights. And then she's like, okay, sharp. You can go, but I don't want you to go alone. And I'm like, why? And then she says, no, I don't, people are not happy, my son. So I don't want you to go alone. And I ignore her and I say, man, mommy, don't worry, relax. Now, with what I thought at that time, to accompany me so that I can turn on the lights and all that. Because I know my mom wanted me to probably take my dad along with, or maybe my uncle, and that was going to cramp my style, because so if I was in a relationship with you at that time, hey, you must relax, man. It's old news. 3 years back, you must relax. So now, 10:30 to 11, I went to my kasi now to turn on the lights. So I drove there. So when I got to the robots, when I was about to get to my actual house, then I remembered that, no, man, I forgot the keys to the house. So I had to go back to the village again. So I went back to the village again to fetch the keys. So I fetched the keys from my mom. So when I went back to my house to turn on the lights, that was already like to 12 midnight, right? To 12 midnight. So I turned on the lights. Everything was proper. So sharp. I stayed for like a few minutes, I think. But yeah, I remember when I left my house, that was 23:50, somewhere there, but closer to 12 midnight. So I left, driving slow, I'm feeling myself. A part of me feels like I'm still dreaming, and then a part of me can feel that this is reality, So I was still in between. Sharp. So when I was driving Momotseleng, then there's this other girl who was walking, and then then I stopped and I'm like, hey, baby girl, where are you going? And then she's like, no, I'm going to there's a place called Radi, like it's where we party that side. I'm going to Radi. I'm like, yo, baby girl, you know what? I just got my ride, man, and I've never had anybody get inside this ride here at home. So I want you to be the first. Let me accompany you. And she's like, oh, okay, no problem. Won't you steal me? I'm like, baby girl, look at me. I'm not the type to steal. Yo, Annamel. And then I accompanied her to the place where she wanted to party. So I dropped her off. And the sad part about it is that I dropped her off there while the boyfriend was watching. Like the boyfriend was watching. I think that's how I get to create enemies. The boyfriend was actually watching. So, it was strong, man. It was strong. So I dropped her off. So when I was going back to the village, that was already past 12 now. Because obviously, when I was with her, we were talking. I was driving slow. Sunroof opened 12 o'clock midnight. It was flipping cold, but the sunroof was opened, because if it's closed, then people won't know that the car has sunroof. So I had to open it, man. So sharp. So when I was going back to the village, then there was 2 boys. Those ones are my homeboys, Vele. Like they stay at the village 100%. Those ones are my homeboys. So, Bare Mfana coach, are you going back to Hamtodi? I'm like, yeah, dog, I'm going there, you know. And then Bare, no, dog, leave but we are waiting for somebody. If you don't mind, you can just wait for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, boys, no stress. So we waited for that somebody. It was one of their girlfriends, I guess. So sharp. So now it means that I'm gonna lift 3 people. It's 2 boys and 1 girl, right? So now one of the boys in there was actually one of my students, one of FBK students, you know. So he was actually inspired because at that time, what he saw on Facebook was that I'm lying, I didn't buy a car. So you're not seeing it in real life. It was a blessing to him that he wanna keep on pushing and hustling so that one day he can get a car of his own. So now, sharp, we drove to the village. You know, I was driving to the village. You know, there are potholes back home, so you can't really drive fast. I was driving slow, you know, feeling myself. Audi S3 4-pipe. You know, life was good. Now, that was already to 1, somewhere around 12. Now, what happened? Even today, I still find it so strange. Like, I still find it so strange. It's still weird, even today, coming to think of it. So now, sharp, we went there. We're driving, you know. So there's like, when you go to the village, there's like 3 parts, you know. The first part is leaving the Kasi. The second part is the second tar road. Then the third part is dust road. So when I was on the second part, after leaving Kasi, heading to the village. Now, what happened was that I was driving around about between 40 and 50. That was not more than 60 Ks, right? That was not more than 60 Ks. I was driving between 40 and 50, for as long as I remember. And then if there's something you need to know about Audi, right, is that especially the S3s, when you're turning on the lights, they have what we call auto mode, right? On auto mode, what happens is that the car is gonna light even besides the road. I don't know how to put this, but kama man, just it doesn't only show you where you're going, but even English is running. But yeah, you feel me. Let me use besides. Yes, let me use that word. So it will show you even besides or outside the road. English is running. So I hope you understand. So it shows you so that if there are animals coming, or if there's a person standing, or if there's something, any object, then you can be able to see it. So the auto light used to rotate around, like on the side of the road, sideways. Yes, sideways. That's the right one. So it used to show me like sideways everything. Guys, I was driving 40, 50 kilometers because the speed limit there is about 60 to 80 between there. I'm not sure. As I'm driving and we are talking, I have one boy in the front seat, and at the back, it's a boy and a girl. So there's like 4 of us in the car, right? So as I'm driving, guys, now I will explain everything after that. But as I'm driving, the last sound that I've heard was caw. That was the last sound that I've heard as I was driving. It was caw. That's what I heard. Like I've heard caw. And then I stopped. Right? I'm going to do a recap. As I was driving, remember I'm sober, I'm not drunk. The last sound I heard was caw. Like it was noisy. Right? And then I stopped. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Right? Everybody in the car is shocked. You know, certain things when they happen, you you take them lightly. You take them lightly. You don't read too much into things. But now, here's what happened, guys. When I was driving, the road was clear. It was clear 100%. Clear, clear, clear. And if there was anything sideways, I think I would have seen it, or the passengers would have seen it at least. Right? Now, what happened, guys, is that there was a cow which appeared in front of the car. I'm going to repeat in case you didn't understand or hear me. There was a cow which appeared in front of the car. In front. The cow didn't come running sideways, no. The car was not on the road by then, no. It appeared in front of the car. I don't know if that makes sense. And I'm sure you are even confused. Now you think this is a bedtime story. No, I'm not telling you a bedtime story. I'm telling you a real life experience. A cow appeared in front of the car. Remember now, I saw the cow appearing in front of the car. I'm not sure if the passengers saw the car or it was only me who saw the cow, I mean. So at that time, I thought I was going crazy. You know, certain moments when you see something, you think you're going crazy. I thought I was going crazy. And so immediately when I saw the cow, I don't know what happened, but I remember turning. And I think I turned to the left. Yeah, it was the left. So when I turned to the left, the core sound that I was referring to before, it was actually the mirror. The mirror got hit by the cow. I don't know which part of the cow, whether the head or the body or the tail or the leg or the what, I don't know. But yeah, that's what happened. Now remember, I'm with people. So immediately when I stopped, and then it clocks in my head, I'm like, fuck. I got involved in a fucking car accident. Me, out of all people, I've never imagined myself being in a car accident. So it haven't clocked in my mind that, fuck, this is a serious issue, right? So now, I got off the car, the boys got off the car, and the girl as well. Now remember now, I saw the car appearing in front of the car. Like, boom. Like, you guys don't understand. The car was not on the road. It appeared in front of me like a pop-up. You see, when you are on Google and then there's like a pop-up on your phone. That's how the cow appeared on the road. That's how it appeared. It's a pop-up. You know, it was not there before. I'm not blind. I can see properly. So we got off the car, me and the boys and the girl. Now, in my head, I thought what I've seen was just an illusion. Like I've seen things, you know. I thought I was crazy, just like you guys thinking I'm crazy right now, right? You think I'm crazy. So I thought I was crazy because I thought what I saw, it was just me only. So now, when we checked, now here's the first weird part. The cow appeared like a notification. Yes, my guy. The cow appeared like a notification on your phone. So now, here's what happened. When we checked, remember now, if you hit a cow, I mean, or any animal at least, especially the one that's standing, you must be able to see the animal that you've hit. So when we checked, number one, the first weird thing that we have seen was that there was no cow. I'm going to repeat. The first weird thing, the first weird thing that we have seen when we got off the car is that there was no cow. There was no cow at all. Now, that simply means that I've hit nothing in a way. But my mirror is fucked up. Now, when we check on the ground, because it was still visible, there were still cars coming and passing at that time. When we checked on the ground, there was no evidence of any glass of the mirror. There was no evidence of any glass of the mirror. That was the second weird thing. The first weird thing is that there is no cow. The second weird thing is that the glasses of the actual mirror that already broke. Next, nothing. And then I laughed about it because I thought that I was going crazy, right? I mean, you'd think I'm crazy, right? I'm sure you're probably thinking, nah, this nigga is crazy. This nigga is crazy. You think it's a joke. I know. Wait until it happens to you. Wait until it happens to you. You will see that people are working overtime and they're definitely not fucking happy with what you're doing with your life. And in most cases, strangers would never harm you to that point. It's only people who know you from back home. Your family, your friends, people who know you, your relatives, they're the ones who can do that. There's no stranger who can randomly do that out of nowhere. If that happens, there's an agenda behind. So now we got back in the car. There was a moment of silence in the car. Nobody said anything after the accident. Nobody said anything. Remember what I'm telling you, I haven't discussed it with my passengers, whether they've seen what I've seen, right? There's no communication. We are quiet, all of us, like, shh, quiet. I kept on driving, same speed. When I look at my mirror, there's no mirror. My mirror is fucking gone. Luckily, the driver's window was closed. So if the driver's window was not closed, I would have been fucked. Literally. I would have been fucked. Literally. So I drove. I'm still on the second part of the road. Remember, going to the village is like 3 parts. Leaving Kasi, going to the village, and the dust road. I'm still on the second part. So now as I was driving, it's still quiet in the car. No word. Next. So when we got to the third part, which is dust road, I'm driving slow. We're still quiet. It's quiet. It was weird as fuck. And I was wondering, why are these people not saying anything in the car? I mean, passengers. They're supposed to be saying something at least, but nobody's saying anything. I was surprised. Dust road. Now, this is like the final confirmation. This is like the final confirmation of what happened. And this is like an eye-opener for me, which actually opened that fuck. This is happening for real. These people want me dead. Fuck. I still have my sunroof opened. You know, I guess bye. I still have my sunroof opened. The car is still proper. It's just that the driver's window as well as the mirror is gone. Sharp. As I was driving on the dust road, it's like a long main road, like a long main road. We are going up, right? So when I'm driving, we're going up. Then we see a car coming, going down. Now we are going up. The car is going down. Actually, let me sit properly. Oh, I'm tired of. Let me sit properly. Sorry. sorry. Yeah. So when we trying to adjust my cell phone properly. Yeah. Yeah, so when we were going up, there was another car going down, right? So when I'm going up, my right of way is the left side. Then the other car's right of way is the right side, right? According to the road signs and all that. That's if you didn't buy your license. But if you've bought a license, then I don't know. So I was using the left side. Yeah, it was the left side. Yes, going up. And then the opposite direction, the right side. So as I was going up, then the car is coming. Now, when the car comes closer to us, it changes direction. It leaves from right to left. That is where we are. Now, this car, this one, it didn't appear out of nowhere. No, this one, I've seen it coming from a distance because we were probably like driving 5 kilometers because it's dust road and the car is still brand new, you know. So now, as the car changes direction, it comes to my side of the road, and the first words that I took out of my mouth was that, hey, it's Saturday, people are drunk. So this drunkards, they can't drive properly when they're drunk. Then that's when my passengers started engaging in the conversation, and then they were like, yeah, no, move to the other side. So I moved to the other side. When I moved to the other side, remember now, we are about to collide in a way, you know, like he's still coming down, I'm still going up. Then I went to the right side. When I went to the right side, he moved to the right side as well. I'm like, aye, man, and is this guy drunk? Then I moved back to the left side, and then he moved back with me. Now I don't know meters estimation, but we were not really far apart from one another. Then I decided to stop. Then I stopped the car. When I stopped the car, he stopped as well. And I'm like, Remember, I've just been involved in a car accident just not long ago, right? And now this is happening. What the fuck is going on? Now my heart is starting to pump, but I'm trying to keep it cool. So now this car started coming towards me directly, like head on, like right 100% towards me. And I was like, yeah. This is not happening. Never. Kafaga reverse. Agafagile reverse. The car was, I don't know, but I think it was old cars, man. Some around Corolla 16 valve, old cars, extremely old cars, or Honda Ballade, old cars. I don't know, but somewhere there. When the car was coming towards me, agafaga reverse, a big reverse, fast. Now I didn't even see what was happening behind, what was coming, but my goal was to escape what's coming to me. So luckily, obviously because it's a dust road, so I get to more reverse with high speed. That's what I love about Audi. Audi is extremely powerful. It's extremely powerful. So I get to reverse. There was obviously dust all over, so you can't really see what's happening. So I managed to reverse. Fast, and then I ran, right? Dust road. Imagine dust road. And I don't know what was happening, but I think they were behind me somewhere, somehow. But obviously, there was no way they could catch up, right? So I managed to escape because it's my hood. I know the roads and all that. So I managed to escape, and then I found some road closer to the mountain whereby I cooled down. I turned off the car. I turned off the lights, trying to see. So when I saw them, I saw their lights down there, just strolling around as if they're looking for me. And it didn't make sense. You know, like what the fuck is going on here? I've just been involved in a car accident that was like around 1:30, I think, somewhere there in the AMs. And then now this guy tried running over me. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Sharp. So the girl that I was with said, "Hi man, let me call my brother. Because now what's happening now, it's fucked up. Let me call my brother so that he can assist us." So she called the brother. And then the brother, we told him where we are. And then he came. And then he asked us what the fuck happened. And then we explained everything to him. And then he went out to look for these guys. He couldn't find them, and then he came back to us and like, "Yeah, no, I can't find anything." So it's more like the car as well. The car which was running after us is gone as well. But now this one, I'm not sure if it disappeared or it went away properly like normal cars. I was like, Anamo? Yeah. And funny enough, before all these incidents on Facebook, I've been getting funny messages on your DMs, things like, "We'll get you, you think you can just leave us here, you think you are better than us," and I concluded that these are people from my hometown. These are people from my hometown, because strangers don't really have much against me. Strangers just say things that they don't know. But these are people who know me. So what happened after that was that the guy told us that the brother's English, the brother's sister. The brother's sister, does it make sense? The sister's brother. But you understand me, the guy whom the sister is, your English is running, but you hear me. So he told us that, "Boy, if what you're saying is true," because Lena, after I told him what happened, he thought I was crazy. But now he can see that we are scared, and obviously we were running, So he said that, "No, if what you're saying is true, but I believe you, then you need to go home ASAP. You can't be at this place right now. If there are people who really want you, you can't be at this place right now. You need to go home." And I'm like, "Yeah." So because I had the boys in the car, so that they said, "Coach, now we'll just live here and then we'll just walk home because it's not so far. So why not just go back home?" Now remember, my mom sent me to go turn on lights at home. So I'm not back as yet. So she's calling. Now, sharp. So now I was forced to go back home. So I went home. The guy accompanied me safely. There were no incidents. So we got home, and then I parked the S3 in the garage, right? I parked it in the garage. And then I called my mom, and I'm like, "Look, I won't be coming back there. I'm actually sleeping because I'm tired," right? Basically I've had a long day. And then she said, "No, it's fine. Anyways, we are on our way coming back home. It's fine." So my parents, when they got home, they found me with the guy. They parked their car as well, and they went in the house. So we talked, me and him, and then after he went away. So now I sat outside. That was like around 2 a.m. I sat outside trying to think of everything that happened, trying to make sense of what happened to me, and nothing made sense. I mean, it felt like I was crazy. It felt like I was dreaming at that time, and I would like to believe that I was dreaming at that time, but I wasn't, because the mirror is evidence that I've been involved in a car accident. The car chase, I can't really prove it because it was in and out thing. It was quick. But the car is dirty to show that I was actually in a high-speed chase, I mean. So now when I'm thinking, I'm like, so if there's people, if these guys wanna kill me, then that means that if I dare try to sleep, then the car will probably appear in my room and finish me off. Immediately when I thought about that, and I stood up and I'm like, fuck, nah, I'm not sleeping here. I'm not sleeping here. After that, I I called my brother, the one that I came home with. He was driving the other S3. I'm like, dude, you know what? Where are you now? And he's like, no, I'm still at the party. It's still happening. So back home, when there's like a party or wedding or whatever, would stay up almost up until 3 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m., sometimes up until 6 in the morning. We don't sleep, you know, even though the original function might have ended at 6 p.m., but we make our own chila sinyana with the gents, stogonyana, you know, just to have a vibe. Hore re kgone ho fasa. Otherwise, re ka se kgone ho fasa, because during the day it's up and downs and all that, you know, sharp. So he says, no, doc, I'm still chilling at the chillers. I'm like, Mfana, where's the car? Because now there was like two S3s, right? Same car, same cars, different colors. So I'm like, where's the car? And he's like, no, the car is right in front of me. And I'm like, is it fine? Like, can you check for me? And then he's starting to panic. And I'm like, yeah, no, the car is fine. And I'm like, are you sure? Then he's like, yeah, I'm sure. And I'm like, okay, doc, you know what I want you to do? Tell your uncle to bring you to my house right now. I want you to pack everything that you have in the house and come to my house right now, because he's still at the village. Come to my house right now. Tell your uncle to accompany you with his car. Don't tell anybody. Now I'm starting to live in the movies. Now I felt like I'm living in a movie, you know. And he's like, hey, boy, what's going on? You're scaring me. And I'm like, nah, relax. I'll explain everything when you get here. When I make sure that nobody sees you and you're actually coming to, you come to my house, somebody must accompany you. So his uncle accompanied him. Then he came to my house. When he got to my house, that was like around, I think around 3 in the morning. Yeah, somewhere there. So now there's like, and then I showed, remember now he didn't know what was going on. So I took out the other car because my parents were sleeping. I took out the other car, the S3 out, like from the garage. I took it out and then I explained to them what happened. So they were shocked as well. The uncle asked Muna, Khopoto, were you drinking? And I'm like, no, uncle, I'm not drinking. Were you smoking weed? I'm like, no, uncle, I'm a virgin. I don't drink, I don't smoke weed. The only sin that I'm doing, Laim Shabeni, is to have sex. That's the only sin that I'm doing. Alcohol, any substance, I'm a virgin to that. You know? And it's like, aye, man. What you're saying doesn't make sense. I'm like, I know, it doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. So I told my boy everything that happened, and then I told him that, Mfana, we need to leave right now. We need to go back to Gauteng right now. Like, we need to leave. It's 3 a.m. We can't sleep here with what happened. So now, Leana, he's starting to be scared now. He's starting to be scared. Because now he can see the car, that the car is actually fucked, you know. So we have to leave. We have to go back to Pretoria, as in like right now. And he's like, yeah, man, no, sir. And I'm like, no, yeah, now. So he says, no, let's at least say goodbye to your parents. And I'm like, no, because if we wake them up, they're gonna see that I've been involved in a car accident. They would probably panic. My mom will cry. She wouldn't even want me to leave. I know one thing for sure. So they are not gonna know anything. We are living as in like right now. Sometimes we have to make hard choices in life, you know. Sharp. We agreed, and then the uncle went back home while he was still in shock as well. And then we left. Me and my boy left. Tur S3 delete 2. 3 a.m. we left my hometown. Shit, we're driving back to Gauteng. 3 in the morning, we haven't slept. I'm fucking tired. And I'm like, I'm not gonna sleep on the road. I'm gonna get home, back home in Pretoria safe. We drove. At 6 a.m., around 6 in the morning, we were at Wheatbank. 6 in the morning, we were at Wheatbank. My parents think I'm still asleep. So at like 6:30, my mom is calling me and he's like, where are you? And I'm like, no man, sorry, old lady, I had an emergency with work. There were papers that I had to sign, so we had to leave at like 5 in the morning, you know. And then she's like, what do you mean you have to leave? You know, she's starting to make noise. Why did you leave without telling me? And I'm like, nah, man, old lady, I'm sorry, man. I'll make it up to you and all that. So one thing I love about my mom is that she loves money. She loves money way too much. So the monitor, no, man, don't worry, man. I'm going to sign papers and I'll send you 30K later on today. So whenever she hears there's money involved, then she calms down. She came down after that, and then we got to Pretoria, to my house in Pretoria around 8 in the morning, I think. Yeah, 8 in the morning. That's when we got to Pretoria, and then sharp we got home safe, perfect. That was Sunday. Remember, that was Sunday morning. So sharp. That's when we actually managed to sleep. That's when I managed to sleep peacefully. I slept peacefully. And then when I woke up in the afternoon, I actually thought what I went through was just a dream. So I went outside to check the car. And yeah, I found out that what you were going through was reality, dog. It was not a dream. You were not fucking dreaming. What you went through is actually real. You went through that for real. And I'm like, shit. So now the challenge was that I have to get the car fixed now. It was just too much stress. I have to observe and accept what just happened to me, but I can't seem to do that because everything is weird. I don't believe what happened to me is actually true, you know, and it didn't make sense. I was stressed. I was not fine on that day.